Fly Girls Surfing and Sports welcomes Kua Aina Sandwich, serving hungry surfers since 1975.
She wakes up and takes up a surfboard, heads out from the seashore, from the world and where she lives. She's got no fears or worries at all right there, just the smell of salt water that's in the air, and the sunrise. She's walking on water. She's walking on water.
Fly Girls Surfing and Sports is brought to you by Spaghettini in Haleiwa. Moku Hawaii Surf Shop has everything you need for your next surf go-out. Get in on the action at Moku Surf Shop. Rent a board by Donald Takayama, Carl Schaper, Claude Codgens, Jay Richardson, Firewire, Hinson, Cheater 5, and more. Supboards, fins, snorkels, bodyboards, awesome lessons, they have it all. Located perfectly 1 block inland from famous Queen Surf Break in Waikiki, meeting all your surfing needs with aloha.
Aloha gang, welcome back on Fly Girls Surfing and Sports. It's Kori Harvey and North Shore has come alive. We got all the action for you. We also take a look at Alaia surfing with Brittany Penaroza, and surfing with a big metal fin is in. Thanks for catching the show. Let's go.
Your reflection is to adore, but there's something left that I need more. You're like a rainbow hidden up above, only coming out when the clouds decide to love, 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 love. Please just embrace. No need to be fake. Please just embrace. No need to be fake. You're like a rainbow hidden up above, only coming out when the clouds decide to love.
more. Give it up for Sky Sewell.
Fly Girls Surfing and Sports is brought to you in part by the North Shore Surf Factory, the Surf Bus, Renewal by Anderson Windows, Comfy Clothes, Pakaloha Bikinis, Surf and Sea in Haleiwa, Sea Hawaii, Chronic Surfboards, Country Surfboards, and the Duke Kahanamoku Foundation, all in honor of Duke Kahanamoku.
Fly Girls Surfing and Sports is brought to you by Kua'aina Sandwich, serving hungry surfers since 1975.
There's nothing better than waking up in paradise, energized and ready for whatever the day brings. And there's nothing better than Green Tea Hawaii to help you get there. With smoother, longer-lasting energy, sharper focus, and even weight loss, with Green Tea Hawaii, you'll look better, feel better, be better. Our kiosks, Ala Moana Center Stage, Don Quixote, Windward Mall, Aloha Stadium Swap Meet, Pearl Ridge Mall Uptown, Wailua, Haleiwa next to Matsumoto's, the Kamakana Ali'i, or go greenteahawaii.com.
This is how you get there. Find the ocean at Surf and Sea. This is how you find the best gear. Everything for the ocean is here. Don't just sit around the beach. Adventure is in your reach. This is how you get there. Find the ocean at Surf and Sea.
Vahitimahana means the sun rising over the ocean, and Ke Kamalei Kaumaka Alohi Leni means the beloved child of the eyes. And so I'm not quite sure.
Congratulations. Eric, you got third. Congratulations.
My mom entered in China Uemura contest at Waikiki, and then I was down watching her, and the next day I wanted to try surfing. How we can just be with our friends, and then how we can sort of like connect with the ocean and just have these like amazing waves every single day. I think Carissa's amazing. She's a really big role model to me. They've taken me to amazing places that I probably wouldn't have got to be with other coaches, I think. And I think she changed women's surfing just by having the great attitude and, you know, ripping. And actually which is actually really cool, is that she didn't only want to enter the Menehune, but she wanted to enter in the boys division as well. I've only landed 3, and then I'm learning some 360s from Dad, and, you know, learning from Carissa, of course, and then other role models out in the water. Sort of like stress relieving off of the weekend before, because that morning I surfed my heat. I was the first heat, and then we drove over to town to surf the straight outs HASA, and then we drove back to Haleiwa to do the Haleiwa contest again for my second heat, and then I did 2 more heats after that, including the finals. And so getting that result, even as my last year, was sort of like amazing to sort of see all my hard work sort of like all fit in together. So I'm thinking I really want to qualify for states and hopefully win nationals. And I'm thinking about juniors. Maybe I start next year. I'm still really young, but I'm gonna try. You know what? I feel like the girls and women's sport of surfing is taking the level. Like, I know when I was last year in HASA, I did Menehune 1A and girls 11 and under, and you know, the girls really dominated the boys, you know? I think only one boy won 2 contests out of the whole season, and all the girls, they all won all the others, so yeah. Whoop, whoop. Right on. Well, actually, I like to do art design, so like whenever I get a new fresh whiteboard, I spray paint it, and so I come up with new ideas, and so my idea for my next board is going to be 2 lightning bolts with black and white stripes in the lightning bolts to keep away the sharks. And then my other board, I just did like a little checkerboard. And so I like to do art and sort of like fun to do. I really like math actually, and I love making slime. I feel like that's very satisfying. And I'm going to try out a silk thing this afternoon with all of the sea stars, so I hope that can be a new hobby.
This is how you get there. Find the ocean at surf and see. This is how you find the best gear. Everything for the ocean is here. Don't just sit around the beach. Adventure is in your reach. This is how you get there. Find the ocean at surf and see.
Way back when the kings and queens rode these beautiful wooden surfboards, the commoners would ride smaller wooden Alaia boards. And they're extremely challenging because they don't have any fins and they sink into the water, which makes it extremely difficult to get them going. So let's head out with Brittany Penaroza, who shows us how to slide Hawaiian style.
Well, from what I know, it's pretty limited about Alaias. I've only been recently trying to get into all of this, but I know the Hawaiians rode all different sizes, from 10-foot heavy big koa wood logs to shorter boards, which I know they laid down on. I've been just playing around with a bunch of different variations and trying to mess around because it brings you to a pure form of surfing that I'm trying to tap into. So yeah, it's really awesome getting a little closer with my Hawaiian heritage as well. Oh, it's definitely really difficult, and I still sometimes will pearl straight off the bat. It's a really big learning curve, and I think for a surfer, I already have like a foundation as a surfer, but this makes sure that you have to hold a different line when you're on the wave, and you have to paddle really hard because there's no fins keeping you stable, and you focus a lot more into what you're doing because of how challenging it is, but it's really fun. You're paddling the board, you have to position yourself a little bit further back and then anticipate when the wave is coming and get a couple more strokes in before, and then use your body as kind of leverage to get momentum into the wave. And so yeah, you're like a little further back, and then when you're almost catching the waves, already had a couple strokes in, you just put your weight into it and make sure that not too much weight's on the nose or else you'll curl. But then if you're too far back, you won't catch the wave at all. So it's all about balance. But yeah. Oh, it's so important. I didn't actually realize how little people understood the history of surfing. Like, this is the original surfboard. This is what people were riding before anything else. And whenever I was surfing out with this board, like, people would approach me and be like, "What's that?" You know, and I'm like, "Oh, it's called an Alaia," you know. And I think it's just like another thing of the Hawaiian culture, how it's diminished a lot recently, and just I think more people riding them and learning about Hawaiian history altogether is completely beneficial. This is a totally experimental board. It has a swallowtail, which isn't as typical you'd see on normal Alaia boards, but it's really fun. Compared to my other board that has a square tail, it sometimes catches when I try to do a 360, but it's a pretty solid board. It's much easier to paddle than any other that I've ridden, but it's also really heavy. You probably can't tell because how thin it is, but this board's at least like 8 pounds, I want to say, or something like that. It's really fun, super narrow, but somehow it glides super fast along the surface. Board is made out of albiza, and I'm still learning, just how boards work, how these boards in particular work, and experimenting with different types of wood affects the buoyancy of it and how it feels on the waves. So there's a lot of different things that go into it, but it's really fun. I love it. I want to shape one someday, hopefully.
I do HASA to surf in the States at bowls, and then eventually go to nationals in California.
So how was the contest today at Rennick?
It was pretty fun. There's a few waves out there. I caught some good ones, but we'll see.
Tell me about why you're longboarding. You've been having a lot of success lately over in California.
Thank you.
Made the Hawaiian Airlines magazine. How's it feel to be kind of on a roll?
I'm super honored and blessed. It's just a dream come true to have all these accomplishments, and I longboard because I really love the style of it and how longboarding works. Yeah.
What's your favorite thing about longboarding? What do you like to do?
Nose riding, hanging 10, and all that. Yeah.
Okay. You kind of surf mostly in Waikiki.
Yeah.
That's a birthplace of surfing. Tell me a little bit about that and how honored you are to be doing that.
It's so cool to grow up in Waikiki and surf with all my friends because we all push each other to become better and better. Waikiki is a special place to many people, and especially to me.
Okay, the materials are the same basic materials that we use for surfboards. Expanded polystyrene, epoxy resin, regular fiberglass. The boards are built fairly light. Everybody seems to like them really light. The foil boards that we're building are kind of super made just for the ability to paddle really well. We want the boards to paddle well. The guys are traveling long distances on them. We want the boards to paddle well. We want them to come in and go out of the water smoothly. It's very important how the board comes back down into the water, but it's really quite a bit different than a typical surfboard. It's got more of a hull to it. It's kind of more like a boat than it is a surfboard, really. We're putting 2 fin boxes in, and we do that with a high density foam, 2 boxes inside. We set it in the bottom of the board, of course, and the foil placement, I mean, everybody's going to be a little bit different. We've been working with Eric Sturman and Pato and a few different guys. We're keeping ours fairly far back, and the guys are ended up being able to use the foils right in the middle of the box. It's extremely important where the foil is on the board, and everybody's going to be a little bit different, just like surfing. Everybody's just going to be a little bit different with their boards. Once we set the cassette in there, we cover it with carbon, and they're holding up really well. This particular board here is a 510. It's 3 1/4 inches thick and it's 20 inches wide, but it's built for a really big guy. It's got 50 cubic liters of volume in it, and that's something that can kind of translate from the surfboard you're riding. If you're riding a surfboard and you're very happy with 35 cubic liters paddling around on your normal shortboard, if it's a 6.0 or a 6.2 or something like that, you can translate that same volume into your foil board, and then that way you keep your paddle. This particular foil here is a ride engine foil. It's by Sidewinder. It's one of the more or less expensive foils. It's milled out of straight aluminum, which aluminum's a light material, but it's still heavier than carbon, but it's quite a bit less expensive. So this is a good foil to kind of get started with. It has a nice lift. The guys like riding it and stuff like that. The Cloud 9s, the Go foils, a lot of those foils, although a bit more expensive, they're definitely much lighter. They're built from carbon, higher end materials. And light's always a great thing anytime you're surfing or riding foils or anything like that. The foils themselves, all of the foils are going to be just dependent on the surf that you're in. The smaller the surf, the lighter the smaller the waves, the less power that you're surfing in, the little bit bigger wing you're going to need so it will lift. And then as you get into faster conditions, your foil itself will get smaller because it doesn't need to create as much lift as you have more power. They come apart, they're bolted together, there's screws in here. You can take them apart, you can take this all apart, and you also have the ability to move the foil and move the wings a little bit on the fuselage. They're using a lot of the same terminology as an airplane. So this would be the fuselage, and this is the front wing, and this is the back stabilizing wing. And I think that as this goes on, a lot of the R&D and research and a lot of the change that's going to come from this is going to be here in the foil, not so much in the boards.
Thanks for watching, gang, and find us on our Facebook page, Fly Girls Surfing and Sports, because we want to hear about the athlete in your family. A hui ho!
Suffered this condition since birth. I swear it wasn't up to me. I just fell from the wrong family tree. You say I done you wrong, crossed the line, there is no return. You think I'm just messing with you. That's not something maybe I would ever do to you. I know it's nothing personal, just business as usual. Still there's something that you ought to know. If I think of it, I give you a call. Take one for the pain, run out naked in the pouring rain, stand stark in the light of the moon, stand there till your skin turns blue. Too much drive you mad, not enough, you're still sad. It's a full-time job, all day, every day, not getting what you want. To you I am scum of the earth, and I suffered this condition since birth. Maybe you're right, it's all my fault. Go ahead and shoot, my back's to the wall. Just pull your little trigger, watch me fall. Take your best shot,